Hey folks, welcome back. This is Lucid, and we are jumping back into our game with Late Age Man in the tournament. In last episode, we managed to finally put the last bit of dirt on the grave of Midgard, and now we are off to hopefully bigger and better things. So a lot of this, what we're going to be doing in this episode is just catch up. We're going to be doing some site searching we didn't do before. We found a burial mound, which is nice. We're going to be preaching, getting our Dominion up. And basically that. So, yeah. This war with Vedheim is now over. So, you can see we've started to get our Dominion spread. We're doing a bunch of... We're going to site search. Midgard has not site searched much. We found this in his land. This Magus Temple. I think... Where is it? I think we found a couple other sites earlier too. He hasn't done a good job site searching because he's been in this desperate conflict with me. So yeah, you look how bad of borders he had from expansion. Like, guys, look what, like, I conquered Utgard, but look how much stuff he had. He had nothing. He had nothing because he was completely all-inning me. He had nothing. Anyway. Yeah, we need people to make a move. So we'll talk a little bit about research priorities real quick. We're going Evocation 6, which I already talked about that, Wailing Winds, Wrathful Skies, and Storm. This also lets us do like big Thunderstrike communions. Because we're getting to the point in the game where people may have Arrowfinned out. And even if they have Arrowfinned, like some of our arrows will hit. And it just gives us excellent guard commanders to have our mages drop down huge evocations. So we're going to need to be ready, especially if we have a defensive war, to do just enormous mage commitments and like rock the shit out of people with Thunderstrike. Then we're running up to Enchantment 7, and the reason is I need Serpent's Blessing. It's too late in the game to not have a Serpent's Blessing for everybody. It's also going to give me Arrowfinned, which is really helpful. And then in some cases, even Mass Flight. So anyway, we're going to be making a play for that. That's basically the research priorities. I think I feel comfortable fighting Midgard after I get Evocation 6. We've got, I believe, a little hammer factory, a bow of war factory going, and we're going to be making, as we get more Earth Gems, more hammers. Let's see how many we have so far. Yeah, you can see we're already starting to get a few. We've got 3 already. And we'll be getting more. So anyway, as we get more, the thing is, like, okay, Arrowfinn sort of counters Bow of War, but Arrowfinn's normally not going to be up for the first volley. And versus a lot of these nations, we'll be able to one-hit kill like a bunch of mages, because I can do fire rear and stuff with Bows of War. And there's like a critical mass. Once you get like 20 Bows of War, you can just demolish stuff in the Alpha Strike. And then after that, okay, you've got Arrowfinned up. Bows of War actually still work in Storm pretty well. And the Arrowfinned will block a lot of stuff, but there's still a fair number of hits coming down from the Bow of War. So anyway, I think and some of this we'll have to see how it actually plays out, but I think it's pretty viable even once Arrowfinn's up. It's obviously better without Arrowfinned, but... Okay. We got a palisade getting built here. We've got our temples up in both of these. We're preaching. We're going to be moving around some more preachers. And that is basically that. That's turn 38. Let's go to turn 39. Turn 39. I need to make sure to check outgoing Diplo messages, too. A lot of this is happening in Discord. What news of the war with Midgard? This I'm sending to all. I will join you and ensure Arco doesn't backstab you, or Micklin, until I do join. So basically, I'm pledging to join, and then until I join, I will be the whip. And then I have a message to Midgard. Been sitting here thinking hard about Diplo. I think I might need to go for Micklin. So I'm actually... This actually is a bit of a lie, which I don't normally do, because I'm not actually thinking... I'm thinking a little bit. I'm thinking, like, what would happen if I go to war with Midgard? But I might need a storm staff. And I kind of want to trade him. So I do want a storm staff. The problem is I don't have enough air. But I do want to have a storm staff. If I have to fight Micklin, I do want to do it with the storm staff. I don't want Aussies jumping on my back line. That's for goddamn sure. That being said, I'm probably going to attack Midgard. Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, this is about as duplicitous as I get in diplomacy. Because normally I wouldn't be courting... I'm courting Midgard pretty hard in terms of just, like, pretending to be friendly with him. But really, I understand... he's probably in the best position to win by a good margin. And Micklin is pretty far behind him. I'm not opposed to a war with Micklin. Except that I think it would be handing Midgard the game. So I don't know. And Micklin is like a huge late game threat. Like, it's not a horrible idea. But anyway. I am definitely planning on helping Ulm and helping Micklin in the... It also geographically kind of makes sense for me. I mean, it would be a better war for me geographically to attack Micklin. But Midgard also makes sense. Because it basically I'd be attacking from the north and the south and get like a continuous... I don't know. It's surface area efficient in a way. If I can push through on both sides. But I'm not quite ready yet. I need to build up more troops, etc., etc. Anyway, that's about it. Turn 40. Okay, Pork Pie is awake. Nice. Pork Pie came out very, very late. Turn 40 is a very late turn to get your god. Especially when we've been just waiting to cast Mother Oak. So we do a Mother Oak casting, like a huge-ass Mother Oak casting. Like we put over 100 overcast in it. I think we did like this much. So, yeah. We're going to probably be having Mother Oak for the rest of the game. Which would be very nice. It'll allow us to control potentially Gift of Health and some other stuff later. And that will help curb some of the maladies of playing man. But yeah, that's what we're doing, boys. That is what we're doing. I think these guys are just preaching. We're not really looking to fight Micklin. He does have a lot of stuff on this border, but I think they're just coming south. These guys here are actually probably going to go up and attack Midgard when the time comes. Don't think there's too much to talk about. We'll keep looking at the Bow of War store, because that's in some ways a measure of war preparedness. And no outgoing diplomacy. Kind of a boring turn. We're going to go ahead and go to turn 41. And like I said, a lot of these are going to be a little boring here as we're trying to get some tech. Oh, one thing we did do was we bought Gote and we twice borned him, and then we sent him in to die. And now he's ours. I can't remember where we got him exactly. Gote, where did we get you? 1 second. Lives at Twice-Born Mage. Okay, here he is. So yeah. Anyway, he's ours. We've got actually a pretty sophisticated blood economy going. This is going to be enough. If we want to, we're going to keep doing scout, basically, blood production for a bit. But we'll be able to get probably, if this game goes late, we'll be a blood power, having this many blood mages at this point in the game. So, in some ways, we're not really on the clock. We have great scales, and the longer the game goes, in some ways, the better for us, because we get to catch up, we have great scales, and we've now heavily broken into blood. And we're a nation which can make pretty good use of that. Pretty good use. Catch a scout from Arco. One thing I'm having trouble with this game is my Dominion. And if you look at it, it's going up a lot now from the preaching and stuff, but we're probably way under other nations. Like, We're having to preach here to get our dominion spread. You can see we've kind of gotten it up here. We still have to preach a lot, but I don't know. I mean, here it's fine. We've gotten it in here pretty quick because we've been actively preaching, but I've had to do a lot of active preaching. Like, we've got probably at least 10 people preaching every turn at a minimum, maybe like 12. So we're having to do pretty active dominion management. Here we have a problem. You know how I told you I want to get a nature mage to site search? And because we have really good luck in dominions, we have no nature indies in our whole place except for this one spot, which happens to be in a place where I wanted to build forts. And I built enough forts where they suck all the resources out, which, by the way, I mean, come on. Min this at 1 so that you can always get a mage out. This is a little silly that you suck everything out. You can't even get a mage. I mean, come on, game. Do this. Like, minimum resources of 1, please. Every province under any circumstance. Maybe not if they're unrest lockdown. But anyway, this would allow us to get Woodhedge Druids, but because there's no resources, we can't, so we have to put a palisade up. So we've started a palisade this turn, I think. And I'm a little pissed. I should have started it earlier to get my nature guys out site searching, but this is the world we live in. We were successful in putting Mother Oak up, not surprisingly. And we're making a Moonvine bracelet so that I can have it, because I'll need it later. We're just going to get some path boosting gear. We're going up for enchantment 7. We're getting pretty close to that. We're only 2 turns away. And that means I don't have to worry about things like foul vapors anymore. It means I'm going to have arrow fend, so I'm not going to shoot my own dudes, which has been a major problem. I also potentially can even do, like, I think Gift of Health is pretty close. Yeah, it's Nature 7. I could potentially do Gift of Health if I'm going to be heading into a defensive war. And then Alteration 8 is going to give me Fog Warriors at 7, and then I forget what I get at 8. At 8, what do I get? Wizard Tower, which is going to be really important in Will of Fates. These are the 2 things that I'm thinking about for Alt 8. Both really good to have in your pocket. Fata Morgana is not horrible, but I don't have good air income. So, anyway, we got some monks, too, which is kind of cool. These guys are basically researchers. So, yeah, that's basically what's happening on this turn. Let's go to turn 41, or 42. A Dire Portent. Stellar Focus coming up from Arco. An enormous cauldron of broth and some gems. And we had a dude die from a disease. So, we basically, you can see we've been pretty active site searching. The things I haven't been able to do are nature, which is a little unexcusable. Except I only have 1 nature indie and I haven't been able to get them. Because of, you know, game balance reasons. Like, I think even in Utgard there weren't any nature indies. Yeah, literally my whole empire I have 1 nature indie. The whole thing. I mean, it's kind of ridiculous a little bit. And like, meanwhile other people are getting like, he's got like Black Rose sorceresses and shit. Like, come on, game. Like, throw me a fucking bone. Anyway. So anyway, that's basically what's happening. We're preaching, we're getting our dominion up. And at this point, it's becoming clear that it's a little bit of a stalemate. Mictlan has moved stuff to the border. Ulm has said they're going to attack, and I think they may have done some very light raiding, but nobody's willing to move any troops. And I'm now getting to the point I'm ready to move troops. And I can't remember if it's this turn or next. I'm about to end my nap with Midgard. I think it might be next turn. Though I have to actually check because it's in Discord. But I am now ready. I'm basically ready. And I don't really need somebody to be like the first mover now. I'm ready to go move. I think we're moving. Now we're moving more priests. I can't remember when we're going to start moving troops. I think I do it in an in-game message, maybe next turn or turn after. So we'll go to turn 43. Yeah, not much happening. Some good events. Wait, I feel like this was this the same turn we were just on? This feels a lot like the same turn. I feel like we had that event last turn. Oh no, I think there's a different turn. No outgoing Diplo messages. So yeah, we're kind of hanging out. I think the other thing I've been doing is I've gotten a Banshee somewhere. Let me see where I've got her. I know she was running around site searching water to try to get me some base water income. And that's where I've been putting most of my death gems right now, is getting Banshees. Let's see where I have the other ones. But they're also going to be really important for basically doing Wailing Winds and stuff and fights, which I'll want to have in basically all of my big fights. Midgard will have Wailing Winds up too. So anyway, that is that. And maybe I'm thinking now it might be a little bit of misplay to not attack yet. Like right now we're all kind of like looking at each other, and I think there's enough consensus that we need to be attacking Midgard. It's just people don't necessarily want to be the first one. I don't know. We probably I have a nap with him. If I don't end it this turn, I definitely need to end it next turn. And if I don't end it next turn, I'll go ahead and call that misplay. But either this turn or next turn, I need to end it. We're on turn 44 now. Okay, we overpower and take Stellar Focus. Found a Magic Side Eternal Pyre. So I've now got 2 globals. And I'm, in some ways, time is a little bit on my side now, because I've got 2 good globals. My gem income's probably still not number 1 or number 2. But I'm kind of, we're starting to look okay. I've got good lands. We've got good base income. We're preaching a lot. Things are generally okay. We've got our palisade up here, so Arco can't just take it. We're not building anything out of this. I just need it forted so these idiots don't come over here. I probably need to put a bigger force in here in case Arco nap breaks, but I'm a little comforted by the fact I have a monolith. We're making a Thistle Mace, which is just the nature boosting gear we're going to need to conduct this war. And sadly, we're still waiting for our first nature mage. And I don't think we have to nap. Okay, we have a message to Midgard. Okay, so here we go. Yeah, this is the turn we end our nap. So I'm sending a message to Micklin. I'm trying to get everybody moving to actually start doing stuff. I've ended my nap with Midgard. Will be joining you. With Midgard, I say, you've been quite a good ally, but Ulm has convinced me that I probably need to help with you. From my side, I just need a bit more land to be relevant. And of course, the clock is ticking for mana as it always ticks, which I don't actually believe. I think in some ways I'm not like a late game power. Like I'm more of a mid game power compared to Ulm and Midgard and stuff. But because I have a good blood economy going right now, and I think I have some globals, I don't think the clock is ticking on me super hard. I think I'll be a contender in the late game. So it is with regret and consternation that I must end my nap. I expect that the conflict does not break out and the Mexican standoff end, but it will be hard, I hope. What am I saying? I expect if conflict does break out and the Mexican standoff ends, that it will be hard, but I hope it will not be without anger. But I hope it will be without anger. It will not be... Okay, I'm typing. That's a typo. I hope it won't be with anger. Anyway. So basically, we're going to fight them, and I sent a message to Ulm saying, we've ended our nap with Midgard, so let's do this while the 3v1 lasts before we get betrayed, and get betrayed by Arco. So let's get rolling, and I think we're all basically mobilizing to move. I get a message from Midgard in Discord after this saying that he doesn't think it's a bad idea that I end my nap with him. It's understandable. And he wishes me luck. Because I think he knows he's in position 1, which I think when you're in position 1 and people coalition you, it's not surprising. Micklin's got a ton of stuff, and Micklin does not have a nap at this point with Midgard. He should be moving out, but I think he's being kind of a little bit of a bitch. I think it's understandable for him to want to wait till I end my nap or to like maybe go on the same turn. Anyway, he and Ulm should be confident going alone, at least a little bit. Like, they did not have hard wars. I mean, Micklin had a little bit of one at the beginning, but then he just walked over and ate Vettiheim. Anyway. The throne situation is interesting. You can see I don't have any scouts over here. I should have scouts, and it turns out one thing I don't know, but I'll find out in a few turns, is that these thrones are actually, I think it's these two. They're untaken. I'm just assuming, because Arco has all the land around it, and Arco's literally not doing anything, that Arco's taken this throne. And this throne, I think I also assume Arco takes, but maybe Micklin would take it or something. I don't know. I assume some like Micklin, or maybe this is a Vanheim throne. Midgard throne. I can't remember. Maybe this one I assume is going to go to Midgard. So I think Midgard has this one and this one, and maybe this one. Like maybe these are the 3 Midgard thrones. And then I assume this one is Arco's and this one is Arco's. And let's take a look at the actual throne situation here. Arco only has 1. Ulm has 2. So I don't know. I really don't understand like why Arco only has 1 claimed. Like he should have 2. Anyway, we'll see. And I'm not exactly sure who has what thrones. I really should be making more scouts, but I also don't have a ton. There's not a ton of scouts a lot of times. Here's a scout province. I should have been making more scouts. Yeah, that's probably just a misplay on my part. But anyway, we're getting ready to go against who we feel to be the number 1 position. And the thrones, as it turns out, are going to be a little dicey because I think these are not claimed right here. I think these 2 aren't. And with that, we'll go ahead and go to turn 45. And we'll do a quick update on where we are. And you can see we've almost been through probably like, I think our war ended on 38. We've almost been through like 8 turns of like relatively nothing happening, which generally you don't want to do. But I think we needed to do some of it. We might have waited a little bit too long. We got an alchemist, which is kind of cool. They've got an alchemy bonus, which is nice. It's paths we already have, but the alchemy bonus is nice in case we want to do that later. And yeah, you can see we're massing pretty huge armies now. We'll be moving these up to the border to get ready to go. I'm not really sure the path we'll take. We'll go here, and then we'll get to choose between this throne and this capital. And we've got big armies here. I'm pretty confident we're going to win this conflict with Midgard, especially as part of a coalition. This would be the first turn Midgard gets to prepare. So we have a couple more turns before we can actually do anything. But we're basically ready. We're making, if you look at our bows of war, I've actually got them equipped now. Because I was filling out my inventory. We've got a lot of them, okay? And they are going to do like a lot. They are going to provide just an extremely intense alpha volley of stuff. We've got our Banshee here. She's sight searching, but we're going to Crystal Matrix her up. And she'll be doing Wailing Winds and stuff in combat. I would really, really, really love to have Alt 7 by the time the war starts. But I made a decision to go Enchantment 8, and this may be a bit of a mistake, but I wanted to be able to get Thunderfind up, because I feel like there's a decent chance of him doing like stupid bullshit with Wrathful Skies, and this will help a good bit. And then also if he does Air Elementals, this will help some. And it also is going to give us access to mass regen. So I don't know. I feel like there's some good things about going this Sign Alteration. We do have Life After Death and stuff already. We have a lot of stuff we can do. Like these are going to be, and this Banshee is a really critical part of this army. Because she's, as a Communion Master, she can just dump fatigue into spells. We've also got Blood. So we've got Blood in our Communions, which means I can clear out fatigue at the end of the script. So we're going to have very powerful communions. We're going to have Wrathful Skies. We're going to have Life After Death. We're going to have a bunch of crazy shit up. We're going to have massive Thunderstrike communions. And some of them, not everybody's going to be communions. These mages are totally capable of operating by themselves. One thing I want to have that I don't think I make, and I probably should have made, is a Banner of the Northern Star. One of these things. They're kind of expensive, but I think with my main army, it would be worth it. This makes it a lot cheaper for mages to cast Power of the Spheres as an individual mage. And what that means is with this up, and then with them casting Power of the Spheres, they get up to, all these guys will be up to Astral 3. Which is kind of cool, because that means they can choose to Soul Slay once they go off script, if it's a good thing. So it makes his army very hard to thug against. So, yeah. Anyway, bunch of good stuff. Except we don't have Soul Slay, so it would be mind burn, which you don't actually need to be 3 for, but you need to be at least 2. Okay, and we've got a couple more turns to prepare for the war kicking off. I don't think I have any outgoing diplomacy. But you can see nothing's basically trading hands over here. And turn 46 is time to roll out. This, I think, traded hands. I think this was Midgard's last turn or something. Maybe not. I think there was a little bit of trading hands over here. Catching scouts. Got attacked by some dire wolves. And next turn, I believe we get to issue our attack orders. And I think we're going to... I don't want to completely doom stack in case I run into some stack wipe, but I think we're going to go whoop. And I think this army is going to go whoop, and we'll go boop, boop, something like that. Making Store in a Bottle, which is a temporary gym item that's going to help if we get gym baited. And I think on this turn, Ulm indicates that he's been attacked by Midgard with some pretty heavy raiding. And it may be... I think that's it. I think it's really heavy raiding. And I can't remember if it's this turn or the next turn that Midgard actually one turn pops one of Ulm's thrones with like, I don't know, 750 wall strength. He one turn pops it with like 1,000 siege strength. But I think this turn was the turn that Midgard just struck out really hard at Ulm. And so we're going to wait. We got one turn before we can attack, but I'm pretty darn tootin' sure next turn we're going to attack. So turn 47, we've got our attack orders going out. And I think this will be the last turn for this episode. And we'll talk about the things next turn. Yeah, okay, we see a battle here where Van Jarl runs in. There's 2 of them. It's just light raiding squad. And his bless, by the way, is this stupid high defense bless with a bit of shock resistance. But yeah, look at this, 30 defense. I mean, good luck hitting this guy. Pool of Perpetual Night. Nice. And yeah, it's time to roll, boys. Time to roll. So this is the first turn of the war with Midgard. And what's interesting is he talks with me this turn, and he says, hey, dude, I don't think I'm going to win part of the 3v1, and you and Micklin and Ulm are going to attack me. So how about this? How about I give you Gath? Like, I'll just let you take it, and I'm going to deal with these other guys. And I'm like, okay. Because I know that, like, my play is a little bit for the late, or like for the later mid game now. Like, we kind of had a rough start. We're catching back up. We've got a good blood factory going. This would be a really good deal for me. But what I also know when he tells me this is this means 100% he's going for the thrones. Apparently this throne, Micklin is forted and will be up like this turn or next turn. I think it will be up this turn. But I tell Micklin he better fort this and defend it. And then I'm talking with Arco. I'm like, Arco, dude, I'm pretty sure Midgard's about to throne rush. And I was asking about the throne situation, and I just assumed, like, this throne would be claimed, you know? Or, like, all the thrones which are obviously in his place would be claimed. But if we look at it, they're not. Arca only has 1 throne, despite having, like, access to 3. I'm like, dude, what the fuck are you doing? Like, go claim your thrones. Go claim them. Go get them. Put them on protection. I'm pretty sure Midgard's going to throne rush. Get your thrones, boys. Get your thrones. So for me, my play now is I need people to get their goddamn thrones, and then we're going to eat this. And yeah, the other thing is, he's told me I can have this. One of the things I could do is I could be like, well, he's giving all this to me. I can roll out without a bunch of mage support. And this army, we don't have all my mages coming, which I probably would have brought all of them. But we're going to bring a shit ton of them. And I've got them scripted to do basically Legions of Steel, Strength of Giants, Where is my... Oh, Divine Blessing. It doesn't look like I actually have it very well scripted for this. Arrowfend and Wind Guide. Thunderfend. I should be bringing all the guys, but I think because he's told me this, I've kind of been like, okay, well, I'm not going to bring all the guys. I'm going to be a little greedy in research, but I'm still bringing a lot of guys for most of the major buffs. Where are my wardens? This actually is a little bit of misplay too. I don't really want the wardens in the front. I really want the wardens. I want these guys on the back on hold and attack flyer. But it's probably okay. And we've got these guys at the front with their bows of war on fire. So anyway, that's that. We've got these guys coming in here, and then we're going to be making a play, whoop, whoop, and probably taking this throne. Because I don't think this one's been claimed, though I'm not sure. I don't even know necessarily which thrones have been claimed, which ones haven't. But this turn, I think he has one turn popped, the Ulm Fort. Which is a throne, which is, of course, very concerning. But I don't think he has taken it yet. No, Ulm still has 2 thrones. So, yeah, that's a problem. And I think we'll do the next turn in the next episode, where we have the first turn of the war with Midgard. But we've compressed all the kind of boring parts into one episode. So anyways, thank you guys for suffering through that, and I will see you next turn.